Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. How are you doing? Hope you're not suffering those Monday blues. Right, let's talk about influencer boxing and real boxing, because I keep hearing that influencers and YouTubers and all this stuff is making a mockery of real boxing, and somehow it's damaging real boxing, and I could not disagree more. Look, I don't care about YouTubers and influencers and all this stuff. To me, it's a load of crap. But I don't think it affects real boxing, what I would consider to be real boxing. The two are just, they're mutually exclusive as far as I'm concerned. Look, the influencer stuff and Logan Paul and Jake Paul and KSI fighting Tommy Fury, who's supposed to be a real boxer, and all this, it doesn't interest me. So what do? I don't watch it. You know, it's there. It's probably not directed or aimed at people of my age. I'm in my mid-50s. It's probably for younger people who grew up watching KSI or, you know, the Paul brothers, and they like these people and all this, you know, there's this influencer stuff where I even saw a couple of OnlyFans brasses going at it. I mean, to me, this is a joke. But I guess it's entertainment. If you want to watch that sort of rubbish, fill your boots. Maybe it's just it's just something where you all get together and you maybe you subscribe to the OnlyFans girls and you think, oh yeah, that's a bit kinky. Two OnlyFans girls beating each other up. I'll have a bit of that. Well, get on with it then. I don't care. I'm not out to ban anything. But what I will say is, even though it doesn't interest me, it doesn't affect real boxing. I think this is a complete red herring argument to make. I'll tell you what does affect real boxing, and that's real boxing. The attitudes of a lot of people within the sport and the way that the sport kind of beats itself up, and most of the black marks are sort of self-inflicted. I mean, do I need to mention PEDs? Don't worry, I'm not going to go into one. But the hypocrisy with promoters, some promoters, well, virtually all of them, and the whole double standards and the whole, you know, we all know that people get away with it, and even when they get caught, they sometimes get away with it, mentioning no names, you know what I mean. You know, and there's a PD thing. Then there's the whole issue of pay-per-view. And this, you know, the slavish devotion people have, the acceptance that pay-per-view has to exist, because the promoters say we can't make these fights without pay-per-view. No, we can't. You know, so-and-so has to have 50 million. No, you can't put up with 15 million. It's got to be 50, I'm afraid. And then we've got, oh, by the way, with regard to the pay-per-view thing, of course, if you look at, you know, this idea that the money will somehow trickle down to the grassroots is such an absolutely stupid idea that it almost defies belief. It just makes you realise how many stupid people there are in the world that actually believe this crap. If you want evidence against the idea that the money trickles down, look at the undercards of pay-per-view contests. We had you know, the last two Tyson Fury fights, even the one against Derek Chisora, which is a complete mismatch and a farce. The undercard was absolutely terrible, so the money wasn't dripping down to those people. And in the one against Dillian White, the undercard was probably even worse. The only thing I remember about either of those two undercards was Nick Ball. I think he kind of made a bit of a splash. He knocked out Isaac Lowe, didn't he, on one of the undercards? But generally speaking, the undercards are garbage. And you're paying, so essentially all the money is going to the main event, and you're paying through the nose to watch the main event, and there is no undercard. You know, it's not like you're getting this sort of feast. No, you're getting one course, and the rest is, you know, a few complimentary peanuts or whatever, you know, a few twiglets, and that's your lot. But hey, you're going to get a really nice main meal until you realise that actually Derek Chisora shouldn't have even been in with Tyson Fury, or Dillian White barely wins a round and gets knocked out, and then you think, I paid 26 quid for that. Yeah, you know, it doesn't trickle down. Money doesn't trickle down. Forget it. It's just rubbish. Then there's the Saudi money coming in, which was ramped up everything to a sort of false economic model, where the elite few at the top, who are used to getting all the money, or just about all of it, you might get a few crumbs off the banquet table pinged at various undercard fighters, but they get the most of it. And now they're more unrealistic than ever because of the Saudi money, although there has been some dispute with the the Saudis, I think, recently, which I'm not going to go into here, but the money might not be as forthcoming as it previously was. And then you get, you know, as a result of people demanding too much, you get, especially in the heavyweight division, you get fights not being made. It isn't just in the heavyweight division, but I did a video a couple of days ago about how the only meeting between 2 top 10 contenders this year has been Joyce and Zhang. The rest haven't faced each other. I'm not including title fights. In fact, there's only been one world title fight, and that's Alexander Usyk against the vast underdog that was Daniel Dubois, and we know what happened there. So the fights just aren't being made. Look, all of this and more damages boxing. Influencer boxing, a load of OnlyFans or Instagram or Twitter people fighting each other or pretending to fight each other. That's not bad for boxing. That's just a sort of side act, you know. Fury, Ngannou, even something as junk as that. I mean, that's a load of crap as well. But does it damage boxing? To some degree, because Fury is a belt holder. If he'd given up that WBC belt and said, "Oh, I'm only interested in making money by fighting MMA guys," then I would say it probably doesn't have any effect on boxing. You know, let him do what he wants to do. But he's not. He's holding that WBC belt to ransom with the blessing of the WBC, which is the most sickening thing of all. Which, of course, brings us to the subject, the ruling bodies and their ridiculous, you know, stupid rating systems, where they favour some fighters, strip some fighters of their belts, let others not fight for 2 years, demand a mandatory within, you know, however many months, a few months for some fighters, not even give other fighters a mandatory for 18 months. You know, it's just, it drives you balmy. The fact that there are 4 major ruling bodies, so it's difficult to, you know, get all the sweets in one bag. The undisputed fight, even when you win an undisputed fight, the belts tend to go up in the air, or you end up getting stripped of 1, 2 or 3 of them. All these things contribute to boxing kicking itself in the nuts, all right? Not influencer boxing, not some, you know, influencer fighting someone else I've never heard of. You know, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, KSI, all that lot. They're not harming boxing. They're doing their little thing. They're businessmen. The real people who are harming boxing are in boxing, real boxing. And then, of course, we've got certain decisions made by the board and bad scorecards, you know, robberies or what are perceived to be robberies. You know, that's the damage that's being done. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think about this subject? Let me know. Comments below as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button. Spread the word about Joe's Stunner Boxing. And yeah, alright, I'm looking forward to reading your comments, and bye for now.